Hi, everyone. This is Mary Ann McKibben Dana. I am a Presbyterian pastor serving Trinity Presbyterian Church in Herndon, Virginia. And in addition to being a parish pastor, I am also a writer and a speaker and have written a few books, including my most recent one, which is called Hope, a User's Manual. I also work as a leadership and ministry coach. So I work with pastors and church councils and other entities that are working on strategic planning, work-life balance, anything people want to work on. So I have been doing that work for several years and bring all of those things together in the writing and the pastoring work that I do. I really wanted to close out a study of loving God, neighbor, and enemy with this idea of peace. I felt like it was important to lift up peace and to explore it a little bit. Peace is something that we sometimes think about as an absence of something, an absence of war, an absence of conflict. When we think about peace in our own lives, we might have certain kind of everyday cozy images of lighting a candle and kind of breathing and being in a centered place within our own spirits. And that is certainly a key to peace. But when I think about what it means to love and to be people of love, I think about peace in a much more active way. I think about peace in the sense of shalom, that wholeness for the world, what our Jewish siblings talk about as tikkun olam, the healing of the world. And to live peaceably with one another is a piece of that. I love that little piece of Romans 12 where Paul is talking about what it means to be with one another. I think it sometimes gets overshadowed by 1 Corinthians 13, which is love is patient, love is kind, all of these wonderful, this litany of what love is. But I think Romans 12, hate what is evil, hold fast to what is good, render no one evil for evil, strengthen the weak, uphold those who are suffering. It's like 1 Corinthians 13 put on its shoes and is going out into the world and making it real. I've always loved that passage. And so as I was thinking about, there are so many beautiful little instructions in there, but for me, the one that kind of sums them all up is the idea of living peaceably with one another. And living peaceably, in some ways, is a culmination of a lot of the other practices that we have explored in this series. Living peaceably requires us to show mercy. Living peaceably can involve our whole bodies, just as that washing one another's feet can. And I think it's exemplified in the story at the end of the essay, Reverend Joachim Alexandropoulos, who is asked to turn over those who were Jewish during World War II, and he submits simply his own name. And that to me is a culmination of what it means to live peaceably, to love. He is loving God, he is loving his neighbor, he is even loving his enemy by not allowing his enemy to participate in a slaughter that he knows is dehumanizing for everyone involved. That is a high bar. It's a tough place to end this essay because perhaps in the reality of our lives, maybe very few of us will be in that kind of life and death situation. And yet there is something in those stories that stir our hearts. And what I hope is that even in the everyday comings and goings of our lives, that we can find those opportunities, those invitations from God to love with our whole heart and mind and soul and strength, and to do so in a way that lifts up peace, the shalom of the world. Because, there's a saying in the Talmud that whoever saves one life saves the whole world. And maybe in our own small ways, we can contribute to that wholeness of the world through our individual acts of love. And I find that a very hopeful thought. And to wrap up our series, I think that's where we are called to go, and who we are called to be is to embody that peace on every level of the way that we live and the way that we serve.